Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome. And we are here for another episode of Marketing Momentum Mondays. Every Monday, we come live inside of your online business guide group to have some discussion in and around ways that you can really discover how to streamline your busy business operations, maximize your time, and to be able to make more sales because there's a lot of choices out there, a lot of different directions that you may choose to head in or have attempted to implement into your business. And it can either feel like a whole big ball of confusion out there, or you may be feeling like maybe I'm not cut out for this. And that may not really be true. It sometimes is just a matter of making a decision, creating a path, finding out where you want to go, and starting to plan the journey. Just like if you're going to Disneyland, you got to do some figuring out about how you're going to get there, what direction you're going to be heading in, and your business is the same. And that's what we're here to help you with inside of your online business guide. And every fourth Monday, we are so fortunate to have Stacey Hall, sales success strategist, join us. Hi, Stacey. How are you today?
Hey, hey, good morning, everybody. I'm the one who's blessed and fortunate to be here to have this conversation. This is my favorite conversation in the whole wide world.
Well, we're so thrilled to have you. Good morning, everybody who's jumping in. Hello, nice to see you guys too. Very timely, people are saying. Hi, Carla and Stacey. Well, welcome, welcome. Well, let's talk today about discovering how not knowing your ideal audience can hold your business back. Learn how to fix it and to make more sales. This month, we've really been diving into this foundational step inside of your business because when we don't know who our audience is, it's kind of hard to be consistent. How are we showing up? Who are we showing up for? Right, Stacey? It can really be the thing that is holding your business back. I like to describe it that way. We may not even know that that's what's going on.
Absolutely. All right, so let's dive in. Carla, because you're such a great leader, trainer, coach, mentor, I'm going to make a educated assumption that no one here still believes what most sales trainers will tell other people. And that is that everyone is your audience. Everyone, right? We've all heard this. It's up to you to convince people that they're your audience. No, 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 no. And I hate the word NO, but that's what we will get if we buy into that myth. Very few people in the whole population of the world, very few are our ideal audience. That was hard to say. So, meaning like an infinitesimal, some people are like, well, then what am I doing here? But just wait, hang with me. Little infinitesimal amount of people in the whole wide world are going to be our own ideal audience, each person's ideal audience. But that's okay because there's billions of people. And when I say to folks, so when you think about the time you have available to devote to your business, what else you want to do in your life, your other priorities, how many people do you think you could actually serve in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, Carla, right? Like we start there because what I find is most people are like, I want tons of people. And then the minute they start getting people, they get into overwhelm. Would you say this is true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And you may not have expected me to go in this direction. For me, this is the foundation of identifying ideal audience. So I hope this is
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
And folks who are watching, please drop an X or comment if this is okay with you too, because you might be going, where the hell is she going with this? But stay with me. I promise. It'll make sense shortly. So if we can say, all right, I want to work 4 hours a day. That's okay. So how many people could you serve ultimately in 4 hours a day? If you're only doing private coaching, that's probably going to be 4 to 6 people a day. So if each one of those is different, then let's just go with 4. And you only want to work Monday through Friday. Okay. So we're looking at 20 people a week. If you're doing private coaching once a month, then it's 20 times 4. That's 80 people. Can you see how easy it would be if you think about, I'm just attracting 80 people to be able to have a really brilliant private coaching practice. Now, if you're going to add in group coaching, then you want to think about how many people you could actually manage in a group coaching session. Maybe that's 100. Okay, so you've got 100 people in group coaching, plus maybe you keep that 80 people who are private coaching. Somehow you balance it all out. That's still less than 200 people in the entire world that you would want as your clients. And then maybe you're going to sell programs, but you're not going to offer coaching. And then you could open that up to thousands of people, because all you're doing is putting out the link. They buy it. They're going through self-study. Maybe you have a little bit of admin to put in, maybe max an hour a day, and you're good with a great business. So I wanted to establish that first, that we're not talking about attracting for private or group coaching thousands of people. So I hope that takes some pressure off of folks, because you can create a very fabulous business working 4 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, just like that. So if that sounds good to you, now I'm happy, Carla, to answer more questions about ideal audience and how do you identify, let's say, these 200 key people that you'd want to have in your business. So I'm going to turn it back over to you for a sec.
Yeah, well, we're getting some thumbs up for sure. And definitely, I think that is a big piece of the problem, is, and be it in coaching, our own programs and services, or if you're in network marketing, we're told just to get out there and talk to an infinite number of people. Well, it really does boil down to the math. I've done some training inside of your online business guide, part of one of the sessions I did last year. Really knowing the numbers is important. And like Stacey was saying, when you're focused on a certain number of people, and there's billions of people to choose from, but really it could take 2, it could take 6, it could take 80, it could take 200, and you focus your time on those folks, you can really build yourself a really great business. So the numbers don't need to be in the millions and the trillions, and it doesn't have to be everybody and everyone. And when we start to visualize and see that that possibility is there for us, then we can really start to go, okay, today I'm working on having a conversation with one person or 2 people, rather than it seeming like I got to sit down and talk to everybody. And who wants to sit down and talk to everybody? I sure don't. That just puts me like under the desk. I'm not doing it.
Right, exactly. So now, if we realize that we're the one doing the choosing, see, that's why I wanted to put that out there, because the mindset of everyone that's the mindset where we have to convince. No, now we get to choose and select from all the people in the world that we want to give our time, our attention, our interest to. And the way we do that is by getting, good morning. The way we do this is by getting very, very clear why we are selling what we're selling, which was last month, right? The clarity, that's part 2 of the alignment marketing formula in selling from your comfort zone. If you know why you're selling what you're selling and the experience you've had with it, then it becomes very easy to communicate valuable content. And people would say, well, how do I know what's valuable? Well, if you're talking to people who have the problem you had and you're giving them tips, then anything you put out that's tips for dealing with that problem is valuable to them. and they're going to self-select. And Carla, I'm going to talk about, for me, it was viral. Like, I didn't get thousands of people, but I got hundreds of people recently responding to a post, and I'm not going to promote the product. And I've had an experience. Some of you may notice that I'm not putting my glasses on and off. I can actually read the comments without having to put my glasses on, which was astounding to me when I realized this last week. Because I've been upping my energy, my frequency, and my health. And without realizing it, my eyes have been getting better over the last 3 weeks. So I actually did a post knowing who my audience is, because I've been focusing on my audience for at least 6 years. Same audience, are primarily women business owners who are very similar to Carla's audience, which is how I attracted Carla. Now we're in partnership, selling from your comfort zone together. And who are either approaching the menopausal period or on the other side of menopause. And there's some issues going on with our physical bodies. So I know, in addition to my selling tips, if I'm talking about how I'm able to stay more productive, how I'm able to feel better so that I can keep being successful, that's going to be of value to them. So I did. I put out it wasn't even a tip. I just said, oh my God, I just realized I can read small print without my glasses. This is so amazing. And I've upped my physical wellness in the last 3 weeks. And this happens to be a happy side benefit. And what happened? Tons of people. I didn't even say, let me know if you want to know what I'm doing. I just said, this is what's going on with me. And hundreds of people wrote me and said, can you tell me what you're doing? Because my post was valuable to them. And by the way, if you're going to reach out to me, please reach out to Carla about that. If you want to know, she knows what I'm doing, and we're in partnership around that too. So please contact Carla and she'll tell you what I'm doing. And let's get back to all of you here. How do you make your content valuable to the audience you want to talk to? There are a variety of ways. But first, we have to identify the main problem that our audience has. So the main problem of my audience is they don't know how to make sales. They may know how to make friends. They may know how to build an audience. They're not sure how to convert that audience by making offers and making sales. For you, whatever you have to drop it here in the comments. Let's see what you think is the primary problem your audience has that you know you can solve. What's their primary problem? As a result of that primary problem, they're going to have other problems, or they have other problems that create the main problem. So here we go. For women entrepreneurs who have trouble making sales, some of the other problems I know is it starts to affect their mindsets. They have mindset issues. They may not feel good most of the time, so they have some physical wellness issues. They may be surrounded by negative people, which is why they're not feeling in a great place to make offers. And they may have some negativity around selling that keeps them from making offers. So these are some of the problems I've identified. Now I want you to identify what's the main problem and what are some of the problems that contribute to that problem or keep that problem in place.
So we have a couple. Patty said that hers is autoimmune disorder.
Yeah.
And Raven's commented, she says, not really a problem, but I offer comfort.
Okay. Well, like Raven, we know each other well. We've had this conversation, hon. If you don't know a problem, it's going to be hard to attract your audience. So the solution, you have a solution, which is something that is comforting to people who have what problem? Why would they need comfort? That's where you would want to be looking. Why would they need comfort? Patty, cool that you are very clear that the problem is they're suffering with an autoimmune disorder. So what would be some other problems that come up from that is they can never count on their health to support them. They may not be making money like they need to. They may feel hopeless at times, right? These are all some issues that go along with having an autoimmune disorder. Okay, Carla, I can keep going on, but I've noticed there's more comments. So
Yeah, just one more from Bonnie, and she says, I help with people's pain.
Yeah, but is that emotional? Is that mental? Is that physical? We want to get very clear. Remember, we're choosing. We're not saying everyone, like, yeah, there's millions upon millions of people today, right now, suffering with pain. Like, you know what kind of pain you can solve. Okay, physical. Great. Now let's get that even more narrow so that you can really speak to them. Why do they have physical pain? What is causing the physical pain? Carla, I'm seeing comments.
I'm just looking on my phone too to see because I don't see the name of who that is. Oh, okay. That was Raven just saying when we talked before, you said there wasn't a problem.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying you just now told me you offer comfort, and I'm inviting you to think about why would they need comfort. I'm asking you to go deeper now, Raven.
So that's really important, is to go deeper, because when it is broad, we're still not speaking to the particular audience that we really want to connect with. Because remember, look at the fast pace of social media, how quickly things are going by and what catches your attention. So what Stacey's suggesting is that the more that we can truly identify with the individual who would be our ideal audience, the more likely that they're going to see what we're sharing and stop and take a read. So that's why it's so important to dig this deep into who they are.
Yeah, we're getting deeper. We're getting with what we've done before over these last few months. We're going deeper now in order to be able to communicate better, because next month we're going to talk about messaging. So right now we're going into choosing, and doing this in a way that's very specific. Yeah, lots of comments coming through now.
Yeah. I'm just reading some of them.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to tell me which ones you want me to respond to before we go on.
So, okay, Bonnie comes back and says, I know I can relate to people with sciatic pain.
Yes.
There you go,
There
Bonnie.
you go. Okay, so sciatic pain is a very specific pain that lots of people have. So even when we're narrowing down, it's still like lots of people, right? Sciatic pain slows us down emotionally and mentally, in addition to physically. So here's also how we can choose to come down even further, Bonnie, if you'd like to. Are they in business? Do they need to resolve that sciatic pain so that they can get back to focusing on business? Are they a grandparent whose sciatic pain keeps them from being able to enjoy their family? The more you can get clear, why is the sciatic pain getting in the way of their life, the more specific you'll be able to be when we get to messaging.
Now, Stacey, when we're looking at it from that perspective of who our ideal audience is, how important that is it that it's relevant to our own experience?
Very relevant. I mean, that's the whole point. Ideal So there's an audience, right? So sciatic pain, people with sciatic pain, audience. People with autoimmune disorder, audience. Now, ideal audience are the people who either have the problem that we have exactly the same, or want the solution for the same reason we wanted the solution. Okay? So if somebody has, if anyone here has had sciatic pain and the reason you want it resolved is so that it doesn't get in the way of your business, then that would be your audience. People with sciatic pain who are slowed down in their business. That's an ideal match. Because when you say to someone, again, in next month, or if you've got the book Selling from Your Comfort Zone, you can read on. We're going to talk about how you position your content so they say, that's me. I get it. You understand me. I hear you. I get you. Yes, let's talk, because it's like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And when you do identify and it is connected to you and your story, you are no longer having a lack of direction. You don't misuse your time. You don't have difficulties being in conversation because you're aligned with your message. You're aligned because it's you, and it becomes superhuman at a level that you can't fake this, because it's you and your own experience, which takes away the discomfort of showing up every day and feeling like I don't know who to talk to or what to say, because of course you know what to say.
Authenticity, being able to say to somebody truthfully, I used to be where you are, I understand. That's all we have to say. There is no other script, folks, which you'll find out we ditched the script. If you got the book, you know that. It's being able to say, I've been where you are and I'm not there anymore. Do you want to know why?
And I would ask those who are watching, drop an X if you see how you can stay aligned with your core values, as Stacey teaches inside of her book and her teachings, when you show up this way, when you identify your audience. Your ideal audience is you, either where you are now, where you were, or somewhere in the middle, and you can just truly align with yourself. Are we getting a lot of X's? I see yes, right?
Yes. Yeah. And listen, I know it takes a little digging. Like Raven said before, you said you don't have a problem. Well, when we first talked, I might not have seen one, but the minute you said you offer comfort, today I'm like, oh yeah. If you offer comfort, who are you offering comfort to? Why would they need comfort? If you've got a solution for an autoimmune disease, okay, now there's a lot of them. Can you get clear what autoimmune disease you have experience with and talk about that? Okay, so this is what we're preparing over the next 4 weeks. Those who have either my book or the masterclass, which I'm sure Carla will tell you about, have the questions in the book to help you be able to get this honed down. Because next month, we're talking where to put your messaging and what to say to this honed in audience.
Exactly.
The more specific you can be, the better. Okay. So I'm going to be even more clear. My audience are women entrepreneurs who are exhausted from running around looking for people to serve. So when I tell them I can transform them into a lighthouse, they're like, oh, you mean I can stop? I can finally catch my breath. I can stand still. They're like, tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. That's where we want you to be, is when you say, let's say it's Patty, when you say that you dealt with a particular autoimmune disorder and you help people with that disorder be able to live a full life like you're living, they're going to go like this. Patty, tell me more. Tell me more. How? Why? How did you do that? And that is the place we want to be. That is the sweet spot. Because when you have those people come to you going, tell me more, I want to hear, tell me more, now you can select. So I had all these people ask me what I did for my eyes. And I tested them out. Like, why are you interested? Some people never responded to that question. Okay. Those are just people who were just curious for no good reason. Then I had people who told me why, and it was legitimate. And I said, great, I'm happy to share this with you. And then come back and tell me, oh, they're already doing something. Well, then why did you ask? Okay. Again, just curious, wasting people's time, as if they've got plenty of time on their hands. But then there were people who came back and said, I am interested. And to those people, I said, so let's plan a time to chat and see if what I'm doing would work for you. Okay? That's my ideal audience. Now we're connected. Now we're like this. Now anything that I offer to them around that, they're going to be interested in. It is this kind of relationship that will go on and on and on.
Let's talk a little bit, Stacey, about when you were talking and we're niching down, we're narrowing down, we're getting tighter. People think oftentimes that by doing that, they're going to lose out on every opportunity to talk about everything else they have. And you started today sharing with us that your ideal audience are women who are looking to make more sales. They're struggling in that area. You know that one of their other problems that they have is, like you said, either their belief in themselves, their mental well-being, they're lacking energy. So the door opens for you to be able to selectively, based on their needs in the moment, have a conversation with them about other products and services that you offer. So just share with us about, don't be afraid to choose, because you won't lose.
Well, it's me. How did I know they had those issues? That was me. I'm looking at, okay, what was my primary problem? I know a lot of the names here, so I know the folks who are watching right now, you've heard the story. I got very tired. A number of years ago, I was in bed for 2 years and 3 months. I became much stronger, helped myself be able to be productive again. But as I was approaching the age of 60, and I was still going out to breakfast meetings, lunch meetings, dinner meetings, networking events to keep myself in front of people, I was getting exhausted. And by the time I would get home at night, I was literally dragging, to the point one day that it's like, I can't even think about taking my purse out of the car. That's how tired I was. And that's true. So I knew it was going to be important for me to learn how to do social media marketing in order to make sales without having to leave my house. I wound up in Facebook jail 6 times in 5 months trying to do it the wrong way. I got myself some mentorship and coaching to learn how to do it the right way. Once I had it mastered and I was making sales every day, I felt ready to then start attracting my ideal audience. And I felt like a lighthouse versus how I used to feel like a searchlight. And I brought into my business, when I'm sharing my tips, that's what I can tell you. I was exhausted. I never got to see my husband or the dogs. I really felt like a fraud because I had said I used to be successful. Then for this period of time, I wasn't successful. And then I became successful again, but I knew that feeling of being a fraud. I had to beef my wellness back up again because I had worn it out again, not to the same extent, but because, I don't repeat the same mistake twice, but I was getting close. So I knew what I was feeling on the physical level, the mental level, the emotional level, the financial level, in my family level. I knew all of that. That's what I communicate to my ideal audience. They're all in that place right now. And that's what I talk about. So when I'm posting about dancing with my dog and having great energy, like I did on Friday, which may look like I'm not talking about selling, I sure am, because I'm talking to my ideal audience who wants to have that kind of energy at the end of a day on a Friday, because it means they had that energy all the way through the week. Carla, I hope this is translating.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going into things I didn't even expect to talk about. So there you go. It's just coming.
That's what I love about these sessions. You kind of have an idea of where you're heading in a direction with a topic, and then it just starts to unfold the way that it's always meant to, I do believe. And as you mentioned, next month we're going to be coming back together and talking about how you can create posts, create content that will speak with your audience. Before we wrap up today, let's talk about the balance between who your existing friends may be today in this moment and you may not be seeing the response from them, and how you grow an audience of people who are ideal for you.
All right. So the first is go through your friends list on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever, and call out. They'll never know, but get rid of the people who are usually the negative naysayers. That was the very first thing I did. Was I knew that if I started realizing early on, if I posted X, there would be certain people who would just go, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. I unfriended those people right away. And you might say, well, what if they come back to you? I had one person say, did you unfriend me? Wasn't a match for my ideal audience. And to be perfectly honest, I just said, I did. It's clear you're not interested in my content. So I didn't want you to have to see it in the news feed. And that she never came back to me again. Okay. So that's the first foremost. The second is once you get really clear who your audience is, what is their major problem? You can find them on social media in groups, special interest groups. Next month, I'm going to give a warning. If you think it's health and wellness, like if that's what you say, oh, they're interested in health and wellness, it's too broad. And what you're going to find in groups that say health and wellness are all the other health and wellness coaches who are trying to find people interested in health and wellness. So next month, I'm going to teach you how to narrow down to find your audience in other ways than what every other health and wellness coach is doing. Drop an X if you're in health and wellness and you'd like to know how to find people that the other health and wellness coaches are not finding. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting some yeses for sure.
Yes, I'm telling you, that is not the count. That is not the way you want to go. You must do what Carla and I have been talking about today. Get as narrow down as you possibly can, because I know if even if you're a health and wellness lover right now, you weren't. If yours had a problem in the area of health and wellness, you had a problem. You weren't a health and wellness lover. So please remember to identify the problem you had, not the fact that you learned how to boost your health and wellness. It's the problem we want to focus on, not the solution. So that's what we're going to be doing next month. For right now, let's stay focused on narrow, knowing the maximum amount of people that you will ever really want to support privately or in a group could be just about 200. And if you multiply 10%, 200 is 10% of 2,000. Okay. Well, it's really easy to reach 2,000 people through social media. That's really all we require is 2,000 prospects. Some of you may think that's going to take a long time. I promise you, come back next month. We're going to teach you how to get that 2,000 very, very quickly. And if you don't know that Carla has a fabulous way to automate that process. Please reach out to her because she does.
Yep.
And okay, that's what we're aiming for. An audience that is a match, like a magnet, a match of 2,000 people. That's the goal. To be able to have 10% of those people say yes to your offers.
There's some framework, right? Before, big number, no number, just out there, just random. When you have a number to work with, then you can set that up based on the amount of time you're working on your business, be it part-time, full-time, 4 hours, 1 hour, 8 hours, so that you can take steps towards that. So what we've just done again is future paced you to a number of, say, 2,000. Reverse engineer that back to where you are right in this moment and start making some choices about how are you going to move in that direction. Then it's not all helter-skelter. There's not 10,000 different roads. There's not a million different ways to get there. You can't say you don't know what it is that you're doing, because you do. But it becomes a choice. When you make your choices about that's the direction I'm heading in, everything just starts to line up, and it's easier to turn off the noise of everything else. So I love that you shared the numbers today, Stacey, because I really like talking about numbers inside of this group. I'm a numbers person, and it helps me. It helps me to gain clarity on where I'm focusing my time, my energy, and my efforts, because I understand the reasons why, understand what it looks like. It gives me those concepts. So you've shared so much valuable information here today. Just drop an X for us. Let us know who's watching today. Do you have Selling from Your Comfort Zone? Do you have this book? If you do, drop an X and let us know. I suspect most everybody who's watching today does, which is awesome. Looking forward to seeing that. Just give them a second.
Here they come.
Yep. I'm the person who needs to know why. Me too. I don't do anything that just for no reason. I kind of need to have a plan. I like to know why I'm there. And once I do, then you can't stop me. Because I've made a choice. I've made a choice for the reason why I'm putting out the effort. And that's what happens for a lot of us, is that it's easy to find something else to do, or when we feel like we don't know what our purpose is, why we're showing up. But when you understand, hey, I've got this goal of 2,000 people. I'm working on 2 people a day, 5 people, 10 people. Well, then we know exactly what it is that we're putting our time and our energy towards. You have the online and the hard copy. Excellent. Wonderful. Perfect. So, Stacey, tell us a little bit more now about your partnering training, the Selling from Your Comfort Zone Masterclass. What's involved with the Masterclass?
All right. Well, if I may.
Yes.
Because I'm going to say the only reason somebody would want the Masterclass, and this is the truth, is that in your heads, this is to everybody, you're declaring yourself to be an expert in something. Okay, now that doesn't mean you have certifications. Not at all. I decided to be a sales success strategist. So when you hear that, anybody could go, oh, she's focused in on being a sales success strategist. Carla, I don't know the exact words at the moment, but I know you're a productivity expert, automation and productivity expert, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you see, she's declared herself. It's like planting your lighthouse. This is where I'm at. So Patty, you could be an autoimmune disease guide or an autoimmune disease solution specialist. So what I want everybody to think about before next month is, what do you want to be known as? Like, what would be your title? You get to give yourself a title. Now, what does that have to do with the masterclass? Well, you have the book. You can read the book, do the exercises. And if you truly want to become a master at being the thing you just said you want to be known for in the world, the masterclass makes that possible for you. And Carla can give you all the details for those who need to know the details. But what I'm going to share with you is there are lessons, video lessons that are 15 minutes or less, where I really give you the nuts and bolts behind this. So this would be like your workbook, but we get to go deeper. There's a VIP group where you can ask me questions. But even more so, I have curated 20 amazing experts like Carla, who I call my masters of selling, who are experts in some aspect of selling from your comfort zone. Carla, being an automation and productivity expert, you're going to learn that from her in addition to here. But I have folks who are experts in videos, how to create reels from your comfort zone, how to participate in summits or throw summits, create your own summits from your comfort zone. 20 different experts. Some focus on mindset, shifting away the money blocks. Some focus on whatever's still challenging you physically. How do you get rid of that from your comfort zone? So whereas selling from your comfort zone is your core, off of that I have these masters of selling who are all part of the masterclass program to help you have a fully integrated personal life with your business for ultimate success as fast as possible. Said another way, complete transformation from Searchlight into Lighthouse.
I love that. And I love that it's a self-study course and that you have lifetime access to the information and that it walks you through the process of taking the book and going that much deeper and putting it, short of having you as our coach, which we can do as well. Stacey is available if you are looking for her group coaching, her one-on-one coaching. The Selling from Your Comfort Zone Masterclass allows you to be with Stacey when you have time, where you're at. And I love that about your coaching and training. I always feel like it's just you and me in a room together, and we're getting down to where we need to be so that we can discover who our ideal audience is. And it's not just the mechanics of what our business requires, the way that you bring in the mindset piece, because without our being aligned with ourselves, with our core values, addressing what might be coming up for us, it's difficult to move in the direction of the systemic things that require to be done in your business. So the marrying of the two is what I love the most about Selling from Your Comfort Zone and the masterclass. And what I love too is that you've opened the door for us to learn from other experts, as you mentioned, well in our comfort zone, who align with you, with your messaging, to learn other aspects of how we can grow and build our business. So phenomenal.
Well, as I said, I'm a fully, I've got a physical body, a mental body, emotional body, as well as an energetic body, a financial body, a family body. All of those have to be met. All of those have to be satisfied. All of those have to be supported in order for us to have sales satisfaction and success, which is the ultimate promise of the Selling from Your Comfort Zone Masterclass. So it isn't just how do you write a post, right? Or who's your audience? I'm bringing that, and then I'm adding on the fullness of the folks that I have learned from. And so you get the whole kit and caboodle in one place, one-stop shopping, if you will, for everything you could possibly need to be a sales success strategist.
The other thing I really see from your exempling of this is your posturing, your own level of comfort with yourself, understanding, and it shows more than anything that there's enough people out there for everyone, because you've opened your doors to bring other experts in and share them with your audience, knowing that it will serve them and not to feel like you're coming from that place of lack. And this circles back to where we started today, where, making a choice is not a losing proposition. you will be far more successful. You will optimize your time. Your strategy will be that much simpler. You will be consistent. The overwhelm will not be there in the way that you used to experience, because knowing who your ideal audience is just clears it. Literally in my mind, I can just see the path clearing, and you know where you're going, and it's so much easier to show up. And so that's what I love about what you teach inside of Selling from Your Comfort Zone, and it's brought me there. It's brought me to that place. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'll just say this last piece. When I first started just coaching on Selling from Your Comfort Zone, I would have folks come to my group sessions, and they'd be working with other coaches. And I would get questions like, well, my other coach said I should do da 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 da. And my answer was, you have to choose one coach. Every coach has a different approach. It worked, whatever they're teaching worked for them. What's different about Selling from Your Comfort Zone is I don't teach a particular way. I teach how to get in alignment with yourself. And the other masters, the coaches that come into the program, whatever their specialty is, they teach it that way too. How to create a summit from your comfort zone, or how to participate in one. How to use automation, as Carla would do, from your comfort zone. So we're all synergistically symbiotic, if you will. It's an environment, it's an ecosphere where it doesn't matter who you're choosing to focus on as your master in the program at any particular time, because you'll cycle through all of them at some point. You're not having to choose, well, Stacey said this and that person said, no, you get the whole approach based upon who you are, not based upon the master. I hope that translates well.
Yes, we all share the same philosophy. We all share the alignment marketing formula. You've taught that philosophy. That's what we bring to our training. That's how we show up. We're not taking you in another direction that is polar opposite of what you share and what you teach.
So that's why I brought these folks in, is I follow them. I know their process. As I said, I've selected them because I know that you'll get everything, and it will be in alignment with who you are, whoever you are that's in the program.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, today has been very valuable. Thank you, everybody who's been watching, who joined in with us today. It's really the foundational starting point, making a choice about who your audience is, because you may have experienced this, or you may be doing that right now, is the randomness of your activities, the not knowing, the uncertainty of what to say. And when you choose who your ideal audience is, again, I keep going back to that path, but it really does just open the path for you to be able to take those steps, the next step towards that, and allow yourself that time to grow into it. And come back and join us next month, where Stacey's going to talk more about how do we connect with our ideal audience, and how do we create content that provides value and speaks directly to them. So we're getting lots of hearts and thank yous. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested to learn more about the Selling from Your Comfort Zone Masterclass, let me know. Just send me a message or comment down below, and I can share the page with you. We can have a bit of conversation in and around the masterclass as well. And if you need some help identifying who your ideal audience is, you have some questions about that, I always offer my 15-minute one-on-one call. If you'd like to book some time, we can nosh that around a little bit. And sometimes it just takes another mindset. I know Stacey's really wonderful at doing that, and she's really helped to show me how to do this as well. And sometimes it just takes talking to somebody else to really get to that place where you land. And then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, there it is. That's the one. Let's go.
Yes.
Thanks again, Stacey, for being here with us. Really appreciate you. And we'll see you again next month. Take care, everybody.